Good evening and welcome to Winfield Speedway Park in Virginia, South Australia. Speedway racing is steeped in tradition, and none more steeped in tradition than speed cars, midgets if you like. Tonight here we have the 1987 running of the South Australian Speedcar Championship, a fabulous lineup of Australia's best talent. And also, just to add a bit of colour and spice to the show, we have two of America's great racers in a man named Fox and a man named Passerelli. We'll be going to speak with them shortly, but more importantly after that, we'll be going to see some of the most high-flying action ever in a state title, because this year, an unprecedented happening when wings were allowed for the first time legally in the state of South Australia. They will be worn tonight. The cars, ever since putting them on in the 1986-87 season, have been absolutely blitzing the records. The record's falling, a great night of racing, two exciting Americans. We're going to see what David Hills has got to say to them now.
We're talking with Mark Passerelli. Mark, you've won 19 of the last 24 races. You must be feeling pretty confident about tonight.
Well, I am. You know, it's a different racetrack here, and you never can count the local favorites out because it's their home track, and we're coming to their backyard and play right now, and I feel real good, though.
Could you tell us a little about yourself?
Well, I'm 24 years old from Phoenix, Arizona, which is in the western states of the United States, and I run sprint cars and midgets at home all over the country. I've been racing since I was 5 years old. I started in go-karts and worked my way up.
What sort of prizes do they have?
Well, your average weekly show, you make between $8,000 and $1,000 a show. But they have big races like the Belleville Nationals, which I've won, and Stan's won too, and it pays between $6,000 and $7,000 in a meet.
There's a lot of money for second, third, fourth and fifth as well, isn't there?
Oh yes, the price breakdowns very well. You know, everybody makes money, and you can't count nobody out just because you're a hot dog. I mean, everybody has to race, and everybody goes through the same corners and puts their pants on the same way in the morning, and there's nobody that separates, nobody. You know, you get the drivers that get big heads and think they're better than everybody. That's not true. You're no different from me, and I'm no better than you, and you're no better than I am.
I'm sure talent has something to do with it if you won 19 out of the last 24.
Well, I got lucky, and brakes went my way, and have a good race car, and that's what it takes. I mean, you got to have the good race cars.
How do you find, well, you've been to Perth so far, is that right?
Yes, Perth a couple weeks ago and Liverpool last week. And the drivers are very good, Graham Jones, and I suppose Gary Dillon will be real top contender tonight. I've been staying with his mom and dad, and they've really been treating me well. And it's fun when you can stay with somebody like that, and we get along real well. So the race, as long as the racing's clean and fun, that's all I care.
Looking good this time. Bella hang off one. Outside of him, car number 5 from the USA, Stan Fox. Off position number 3, Gary Dillon in car 18. Anybody's race. Fox bolts into turn number 1. Car number 5 from the USA hangs onto it there. And Herreen from New South Wales. No, from South Australia. Herreen, as I say, we'd love to see him in New South Wales running the clay on this particular car. He is absolutely magic here tonight so far. Dillon also on the pace, car 18. The track still to get that little bit of glisten off the surface. They'll go faster as the night goes on. You wait and see. But have a look at this guy, Stan Fox. He's just come underneath us now. These guys chasing him at the moment. Herreen in the 2 car running second. In the 18 car in third place, Gary Dillon. Fox, Herreen and Dillon in that order as they come around the leader. Copybook stuff. School Engineering sponsoring the Fox car here this evening as he goes down the back chute. Turn number 3. Diminutive little American really doing it well. Very quiet man in himself, very unassuming, a wealth of experience, and you're seeing him put it down on the circuit at the moment. 15 or 20 car lengths separating first and second. A fantastic shot you just saw there. Almost the length of the straightaway. There they are again, thundering past with 3 rotations remaining. Heat number 4. Heat's dwindling away. They definitely need points, these guys. They want to start in the front row of the final. The American's looking good at the moment. Fox a little untidy into that turn. He's got 1.5 to go as he goes down past the Winfield sign into turn number 3. Around into the 3-4 turn. 1 to go. Stan Fox. from Phoenix, from Puckerbush in Wisconsin. Looking good. Goes up into turn number 3. The skilled engineering car going around now. His first win here at Winfield Speedway Park. Second place. Across the line now, Herreen looking strong. Third place, Gary Dillon, car number 18. And it looks like it's going to be a cracker final.
Talking with Stan Fox. Stan, first of all, tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, it's my first time to Australia. I have run a couple times in New Zealand on the Americas team. This is be my third race over here, and our last one we head back to Puckerbush, which is in Wisconsin, on Sunday morning. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's race. I think it'll be fun, and the best part about this is that, where I live at home, there's a foot of snow, and when there's a foot of snow and you have an opportunity to come over here, it's not too hard to tell somebody to do it. So.
Tell us something about the Australian drivers. What do you think of them?
I don't know. This is also the first time I've ever driven a wing in a midget, which will be exciting for me. I don't know if it's going to go left or right or which way when I get into the first corner.
Do you think it's a good idea to drive with wings?
Well, we did a little practicing a couple days ago out here. They let us take a few laps, and it took a lot of the thrill of the driving out of it. Without the wing, it's much harder, I'd say, on the driver. The wing seemed to calm everything down. It seemed to be a lot easier to drive. And now, as far as fine-tuning it, I'll find out tonight.
It's a natural extension from winged speed cars to sprinters, though, isn't it?
Exactly. If the sprinters are in your future, the best way to do it is with the wings, because you understand that the wing is so critical on these. The little angle here, moving it forward or backward, that's how you do all the chassis setup. You take the wing off, and there's a dozen other things you have to do where they can easily be overlooked. You just, like my teammate, he snookered me. He ran last weekend in Sydney, and he got a wing there. See, so he brought a big wing in. Didn't tell me. They give me a little peanut-sized wing here to run. He's got some gigantic wing in his car. He's been smiling at me every time he walks by. I've been trying to convince him that the little wing's better anyhow. I won't be pulling so much air with my car.
Tell us, are there many differences between racing here and in the States that you've noticed so far?
Well, every track I've been to here has been fun. The tracks are great. This is probably the nicest facility here at Adelaide I've seen anywhere, including in the States. I'd say it's relatively the same. If they came over and told us we had to turn right instead of left or something, it'd probably be exciting. But no, everything is, the cars, these cars are from the States, and Qantas helped us get those over here, and that helps because we know the cars are the same type we've been running, and the tracks, when you're here, you're just supposed to adjust, and we've run up to 60, 70 different tracks in the States before, so you adjust. That's one thing in the States, you learn how to adjust. If you run 4 or 5 times a week at 4 or 5 different tracks, you have to learn in a hurry.
Are you happy with your times so far?
No, we haven't been able to get sort of really dialed in yet. We had problems with engines early in the season. Tonight is our first night with a new engine. We had it out here a fortnight ago and we got washed out. So we've got all our eggs in one basket tonight. We've got to sort of run in a new engine and try and win at the same time.
You must be happy with the stiff competition.
Oh yeah, look, the competition here over the last few years has been very stiff, and that's what keeps me going really. It's very even. Every year a new guy comes out. Last year Phil March, the lad that's taken his car now, Gilbert, is flying. Bouldger's come out there and he's going like a bull terrier. Dillon's going well, so there's 5 or 6 cars there now here in Adelaide that are really top notch.
And the 2 Americans will bring out the best in you?
Oh yeah, well that's what we all want to race against, the best, and that's what sort of I said keeps me going, is to drive against top drivers, and to have the Americans in tonight's tremendous.
Talking with John Sears. John, you were 3rd in the national titles. You must be pretty confident about the car and yourself coming together.
Yeah, we certainly were. We didn't get it together until the last race over there, but 35 gruelling laps, and the old car, she chugged away, and we lobbed in 3rd. Yeah.
Would you have to alter it terribly much for this new track tonight?
Yeah, we certainly did. It's clay here, and the surface we run on over there was definitely not clay. It was very slick and hard, and wore out a lot of tyres actually.
Are you confident about tonight?
Well, yeah, we really are. I mean, we just go out there and go as hard as we can, and you just got to trust the luck a little bit too, but, we'll be there at the finish.
Are you looking forward to the competition tonight?
Oh, I certainly am, and the 2 American drivers. I reckon it's really great to sort of drive against different people all the time, because it gives you a bit more of a spurt on, doesn't it?
A lot of our viewers haven't any idea of what it's actually like to be in a car and to be showered with dirt and to just see spinning wheels and wings and things. Could you tell us something about it?
Yeah, well, the most frightening aspect of it is when you go down the straight and go into a corner and all of a sudden somebody put your hand over your eyes, you know, and that's all the mud. But we're fortunate enough to have one of those mud eaters, and we press a little button and the little electric visor shoots it across, and so we've got clear vision all the time. But you know, it's pretty terrifying if you can't see, isn't it?
The action's still hotting up as Speedcar heat number 5 for the state championship is on the circuit for another 8 laps of combat. The front 2 rows made up of Alan Weiss and also Steve Hennig. Second row, Mark Passerelli from the USA. Hot to trot here this evening. The Americans a strong showing. And it's Passerelli who hounds Hennig there in car number 24. Passerelli in the 3 car, the Whittles real estate car as he goes down into turn number 3. Don Bowey in car 68 chasing after him there, doing a good job as they come past us into turn number 1. Hennig, Passerelli and Bowey in that order, 1, 2 and 3. Here's a charge by Passerelli. They go into turn number 3. And Bowey also in the act. Anybody's now. What a race this is going to be. A cracker. Passerelli tries to get underneath Hennig. They go off the second turn. Passerelli rips a tear off there. We're watching this closely. They go around into turn 3. Passerelli on the high line. Bowey underneath the American. Passerelli a little untidy there. Goes around into turn number 2. Bowey, the hero so far. Down the American. Gets past Hennig. This is a screamer. There's 4 to go as they come around the halfway mark. The leader, Don Bowey, he'll bring the crowd down here. The stands will fall. This guy is absolutely brained him. Come from behind Passerelli, rounded him up, got Hennig as well. 3 to go. Don Bowey, if there was ever a time to bloom, tonight's the night for the state title. Phil March not defending it, having stepped up in sprint cars, and Don Bowey doing it well in car 68. Bowey past me now, 2 circulations of Winfield Speedway Park. Off turn number 2 he goes. 5 or 6 car lengths separating him from Stephen Hennig, and 3 or 4 separating Hennig from Passerelli. The white flag, 1 to go for Bowey. Leader past us now, we'll watch him. Don Bowey, keep it together, son, as he goes off turn 2. Down the back straight he goes. Into turn number 3. Don Bowey, the crowd starting to get up. Don Bowey from South Australia. Exciting heat 5 is his in the bag. Steve Hennig second place in car 24. The American Mark Passerelli went out as favourite, ended up 3rd. Congratulations to Bowey. What a great race. We're waiting for a race time here. And Don Bowey, you've done South Australia proud.
Mark, out of bikes and into cars, what do you think of the change?
Well, David, I'm very happy. It's you know, I've always wanted to drive cars, and so far this season I think we've done quite well, and I couldn't be more happy with the car, that's for sure. So if things keep progressing the way they are, I'll be quite happy to do it for a few seasons yet.
You've inherited a pretty good car.
Yeah, I sure have, and I've inherited also the guy that sold it to me, Phil March. He's helped me no end, and he's put me on the right track with everything, and as well as the people that made the engine, Maxwell Motors, they've also helped me a lot, it's obviously made a big difference to the whole thing.
It must be quite a different life, the difference between bikes and cars.
It is obviously different because you in a car you don't quite, it's not quite so physical in the sense of your balance, but the sense of when you go into the corner, when you go into a corner very fast in a car, in a speed car, it is a similar feeling. It feels, you know, you do get a good buzz out of it to go into turns very fast.
Hot competition tonight.
It sure is. It's, you know, I just hope, you know, if the Americans, you know, if you can learn a bit off them, I'll be quite happy, and you know, that's what it's all about. I just want to learn as much as I can, and they're the guys that can teach you, because they do what we all want to do. They do it for a job.
8 up on the board. This will be heat number 6. As I said, you've already got your money's worth. What you get from this point in time onwards will be a bonus. Fabulous racing. The wings on speed cars here in South Australia, I applaud the RDA for making that decision. It's certainly put them on the map, and they are looking good. And talk about looking good, they're looking good for the restart now as they come around. Heat number 6, points needed, no. Untidy, everybody wanting to be a hero, everybody trying to push up. Jeff Hogman trying it again. Heat number 6 lines up again. Let's see what they can do this time when they come around. We'll have to watch 75 and 78 car off position 6 and 7. We'll see the charge. Gilbert's gone up high. Didn't get the slingshot this time, but he settles down in the position number 3 very quickly. Bouldger is caught napping this time. Here's the go between the two, but Bouldger rim rides it past the Combo Industries sign. They come around the 3-4 turn into the main straight. Turn number 1's where the action is. Have a look at this other racer here, car 16. He hangs onto it. Michael Buxallen, well done. Thought he was gone, tail into the fence, but not to be. Kept the foot in the bucket and kept the car on the terra firma, pointing the right way. The leader now. This time it's Mark Gilbert's turn. He goes down the back chute. Turn number 3, the action is. This is a race between these two gentlemen, two former solo riders. Wayard Park Horse Stud actually is the sponsor on Gilbert's car. Very, very different, but welcome to Speedway. Gilbert now in the X-Phil March car. Pedal to the metal. Looking good. Trying to accumulate points. Wants to go off the front row in the final. Behind him, the ever-present John Bouldger will never give up till the checkered flag drops. Gets it down on the ground. That's him on your screen now in the skilled engineering car. Bouldger now made up a car and a half's lengths as they go through traffic. Gilbert looks a little bit faster in the straight line. They go into turn number 3. The leader, Gilbert, now coming around. Gilbert and Bouldger with Buxallen running in 3rd place. Gilbert opens up a lead again. 2 laps remaining. 1 this time. Oh, he's gone, Bouldger. He's gone. John Bouldger crashes his hands down on the wheel. Absolutely devastated. Just drove up into the fence. I don't know what the problem is, whether something let go in the front end. And Mark Gilbert, of course, would be concerned for his colleague as he comes around there. But certainly a situation. We'll see if the race is declared. They were coming around to get the white flag with 1 to go, and it'll be interesting to see if the race will be declared. But certainly bad luck. Bouldger quite okay, but bad luck for him. Buxallen running 3rd place. John Bouldger's car being towed off the track now, and the race has been declared. Car 78, Mark Gilbert first. 2nd place, car number 16, which is Michael Buxallen. 3rd place to Leith Mitchell in car number 10. No race time, race declared on the completion of the 8th lap.
John, that was spectacular. How are you feeling?
Oh, not the best at the moment after all the work, but something must have let go because if anything, I wanted a bit more traction. I was sitting in there just getting in a few laps, and next thing the thing just went straight on. So and I've been around enough tracks to know when something's happened or whether it's my own fault. But
And you've fallen off a motorbike a few times, I suppose.
oh yeah.
So you're used to it.
Well, yeah, I like winning better though.
The tension mounts. This is the pole shuffle. 8 by 2 laps, and the winner takes all. The winner of this race, these 2 laps, stays on the circuit. The guy who misses out goes off position 8. Let's see how it goes. Gary Dillon in car number 18 and car number 16, Michael Buxallen. And it's Dillon so far as they go around turn number 2. Have a look at the lead he's opened up there. Down into 3. They'll have the push car behind the next car to go out there. And so far it's Dillon. Gary Dillon into turn number 1. Round into turn number 2. Michael Buxallen, no answer for him. Let him get that jump on the 1-2 turn. And it's going to be Gary Dillon. He is going to be the king of the moment as Buxallen will start off position number 8. Next car going away now. Whittle's real estate sponsored car number 3 of USA star in Mark Passerelli. Passerelli out on the circuit now. up against Dillon. Let's see how we go this time. Under starters orders, 2 laps. No mistakes allowed, 2 laps, go for it. That's the way it is. Here they go, pedal to the metal, and Passerelli into turn number 1, gets the better of him. Dillon! Great stuff underneath the American. The American coming back. Let's have a look around the 3-4 turn. It's still Dillon, pulling away now. Gary Dillon doing it proud for South Australia. The Roe Valley Wines car as he goes into turn 1. Dillon still driving his heart out down the back chute. Fast time for this guy. He goes into 3. Passerelli, no answer. Dillon relegates Passerelli to a 7th position start.
Gary Dillon, second in the national titles 2 years in a row. When is this going to be your year, 87?
I certainly hope so. It's not too good being a bridesmaid all the time, is it?
Did you like the race?
Yeah, it was good after I got used to it. When I first got there, I wasn't used to such a slick track, but after in the second week, we went pretty good.
But it must be nice to have variety in tracks, is it?
Yeah, it was. I didn't realise how you become so used to the wing, and when I first got over there, I more or less couldn't get out of my own way. But after we did about 150 laps, I got used to what it was like without a wing again, and come good.
Do you prefer driving with a wing?
I prefer driving with a wing on a clay track to stop the car tipping, but actually on a slick track, I prefer to drive without a wing.
You're looking forward to tonight?
Oh yeah, I am really. I've never won a South Australian title. I managed to get in the places, but something usually happens, and so I am looking forward to it. And I practiced on Thursday with the 2 Americans, and they're very fast, so it'll be very exciting racing.
Do they race in a different style?
Yes, they do actually. They move around the track a lot more. They don't just more or less hammer into the corners as much as the Australians do. They drive in and they turn and they move up and down a lot more.
What are you hoping to do? Do you have a race plan?
Not really. I'm just gonna see how it goes and go as fast as I can.
Racing this time, Dillon again into turn number 1. Young Hennig tries to come back at him. Nearly a clash of wheels. They're unintentional as they come off the second turn. Dillon into 3. Here comes Stephen Hennig. Dives in deep around the bottom turn. 1 to go. It's still Gary Dillon, but here comes Hennig again. He dives it in deep to that turn. A good line, but not enough power to pull it off the corner quick enough. And it looks like 3 out of 3 for Dillon. Around he comes, Gary Dillon, victory again. Steve Hennig off position 6. Next car will be car 5 from the USA, Stan Fox. Let's look this time. Pair of them. Fox, the master of the starts in the States. Going this time, Jeff Holgren lets him away. Fox gets the better of him. Into turn number 1 he goes. Here comes Dillon again on that low line. Fox off 2. Still plenty in this one. We'll see if Dillon can come back. Stan Fox around to 3. Into turn number 4. Fox, the first time he's wore a wing anywhere in racing speed cars over his vast career. And Dillon a little untidy. It looks like Fox's race. Dillon 2 feet on the accelerator, but the American looking strong, and he balks it. And it's Dillon! Dillon! Fox hooked the run around the 3-4 turn. Dillon done it! Dillon done it! Relegation to USA. Goodness gracious me, Stan Fox. From a rooster to a feather duster. Herreen will go off 1, Dillon off 2. He knows the ragged edge on this deal. He knows where the line is on the circuit here tonight at Winfield Speedway Park. He wants to start off position number 1, does Mr. G. Dillon, and he's really doing an absolutely marvellous job at it so far. Under starters orders, 2 laps to do it in. Herreen versus Dillon into turn number 1. Herreen on the low line. Dillon goes for the charge. This time it's Herreen off 2. Stands on it down there. The little black number 2 car into turn 3. Here comes the Jonathan car. He gets on the low line and it shanghais off the bottom turn. He overhauls Herreen. It's the Dillon show again. He goes off 2. Let's watch him down into 3. Cary, Dillon percolating tonight. Here comes Herreen. Herreen's cooked him on the turn 4. And he's got it. Well, how about that? Goodness gracious me. Phil Herreen relegated car number 18. Car number 18, who's been running so strong here tonight in Gary Dillon. Take nothing away from him. A little bit of an offline, and that was it. He got Herreen. Vice versa at the following end, and he got Dillon. And here comes another hard charger this evening. This will be a great go. Mark Gilbert, car 78, the former state title holder, matter of fact, the former state and national title holders car, the former Phil March car number 78 on the circuit now. He'll go off 1. Phil Herreen's got to do it off 2. Jeff Hogman said, there's the green. And of course, they're going down low. Whoa, have a look at that. Gilbert in the lead. 1.5 a car length. Here comes Herreen. They go into 3. Gilbert slams the gate on him a bit. Gilbert running high. Herreen hooks that bit of a rough patch. 1 to go. Gilbert looking strong. Back into turn number 1. And if you think I'm getting breathless, this is exciting stuff. Anybody still? Here comes Herreen up high. Darts it down low. Gilbert says, you got to get around me. A little untidy. A dive to the wire. Anybody's race. Gilbert snots the boards. Gilbert snots the boards. 78 off 2. And the man who will go off the pole, car number 2, looking strong tonight. He capitalised on everything, has driven well, all those years of experience. Phil Herreen, car number 2. What a great feature race it's going to be. The battle of the McCarthys this time off the front row, Dean and Cary. Cary and Dean. Dean and Cary, have it how you like it. Scotch Petroleum, bring this one to us again. Super Sedan, heat number 3. This will be fireworks. Cary, car 24, the Dry Creek Wreckers car, backs it into turn number 1. Oh, I love the way the guy drives this car. Outside of him, the little Jap buzz box is brother Dean. So Dean and Cary. Cary on the low line, Dean on the high line. The big 8-cylinder versus the buzz box. And away we go. 13B Mazda rotary motor. Oh, thank you. And we had every little problem there for a moment, didn't we, boys? But we sorted it out. Coming onto the scene very, very quickly. Car number 1, Stevie Stewart. The McCarthys battling it away. No love lost. Got a car spun down there. Car 87 sending me through the 3-4 terms. Robbie Marchand. McCarthy as in, oh no, he'll be disappointed. Look out, boys, we've got poor old Robbie sitting down there looking pretty ordinary around the 3-4 turn, just as Dean makes the big break off turn 2. McCarthy's running 1 and 2. Behind them is Stevie Stewart. And looking for a start, Jeff Hogman steps back, so you won't have a part of this. Everybody wants to be a hero. And behind them we've got car number 63, which is Kim Cottrell. Anybody's race. And I mean that. Ivor Beneke sitting up behind that lot. A real class field. Tony Parkinson further back in the field in car number 18. And restarting after his little problem at the back of the field, Robbie Marchand. 6 remaining on the board. This is the Scotch Petroleum Super Sedan Heat 3. And action aplenty. The little buzz box rounds up the big banger as they go off turn 2. Have a look at this. Talk about David and Goliath. It's not in it, but the big Chev gets it down on the ground. The little car running up on the high line gets more legs into the chute. The brother settle down now. Cary on the low line, Dean on the high line, the McCarthy, Stevie Stewart coming at him. Anybody's now. Cary, flames flying out the side of the Camaro. The afterburning of the methanol. Whoa, Stewart a little untidy. Uncharacteristic as he comes into the straight. The battle of the McCarthys. This is action-packed stuff. What a great night of racing. The track in superb condition this evening. Winfield Speedway Park here in Adelaide, Australia's showplace of speedway racing. Cary, this time. I'll make no comment. He gets by Dean, but Stevie Stewart goes thank you very much and snips it on Cary into 3. Cary McCarthy comes back at him again. Fiberglass Alley. Oh, doesn't the fiberglass guy love these people? Around into 1, into 2. Stewart, Cary McCarthy, Dean McCarthy. Parkinson pushing up now, trying to get into 4th. 1 lap to go. Desperation stuff. Stevie Stewart, the state champion, out ahead. Cary McCarthy, 2 feet on the accelerator. Zip down the back straight, but nobody's going to catch Stevie Stewart unless he makes a faux pas. Stevie Stewart, the exciting win of the Scotch Petroleum, heat number 3. Cary McCarthy 2nd, Dean McCarthy 3rd. Sneaking through into 4th place, car number 22, and he did that very well, Gavin McKenzie, and behind that I'm thinking was Robbie March, and somewhere further back to Tony Parkinson. Great stuff. Speedway Park, super sedan action.
Steve Stewart, you're now number 1 after quite a long time of 2nds and 3rds and things. Can you tell us what's the difference between how you were and how you are now?
Well, what I was and what I am now I can be confident of the motor car. It's the best chassis that I've ever had, and I can just trust it, and it really pays off. You can take a chance and don't get in the strife so much now.
So is it attitude?
It's a mental attitude. I base more than 50% of my sport, or anybody's sport, on mental attitude, yeah.
What have you done to the car that's different?
Oh, we took a lot of stabs in the dark. There's lots of things on the wrong side this year. Some things that have never been tried. If you just follow what everybody else does, you're only ever going to go the same speed. We've stuck our neck out, tried some things that have never been tried, and they worked.
They obviously do. Are they radical things?
Oh, they are and they aren't. You'd never pick them up by just looking, and they could have all been wrong, but maybe half of them are wrong, but the good ones are covering up the deficiencies. We don't know.
How long did it take for all this to happen?
The Grand Nationals did it for me, because I went to a Duke Southard motor seminars on setting up Speedway chassis for 3 years, and got it all wrong the first year, half wrong the second year, and the third year I started to understand. And then the Grand National, we did more development on that than I did in the previous 14 years, and now I can understand what I'm actually doing and why it's working.
What about the competition? Are they pushing you fairly hard?
Yeah, they are. There's a couple of guys with better cars. As soon as they sort out their chassis, Cary McCarthy's obviously going to be long gone. But while he's having a bit of trouble, it's given us some hope.
Going off the front, and proudly so, will be car number 2 from South Australia, and that will be the car driven by Herreen. Herreen been around for a lot of years in this sport, in modifieds, a little dash at sprint cars, but really excelling in the mighty midgets, the speed cars. Outside of him will be entrepreneur, former solo rider, and now proud owner in the Wayyard Park Thoroughbred stud car, number 78, Mark Gilbert. Mark Gilbert, of course, bought this car from Phil March. That's the car that won the national championship last year. That was the car that won the state title last year on this circuit under the hands of Phil March. So Mark Gilbert stepping up into car 78. The second row, car number 18, Gary Dillon. Outside of him, car number 5 from the USA, and that's the car of Stan Fox. Stan Fox, IndyCar car driver, midget final winner of many races, and here tonight to contest the 1987 South Australian Speed Car Championship. Fox all the way from Puckerbush in Wisconsin in the USA, certainly looking strong. The third row, car number 24, Steve Hennig. Outside of him, from Phoenix, Arizona, the one and only Mark Passerelli. So 6 exciting starters, part of a massive field. Hogman not giving him the start. Look at these guys, absolutely tense, picking each other up again. Maybe letting a few cats out the bag to where they're looking for that run. The 4th row, Don Bowey, tucked in behind him there. Car number 68, been very strong so far tonight. Looking good this time, 25 laps, 25 circulations of Winfield Speedway Park for the South Australian Speedcar Championship for 78. And look at them going to the first turn, getting up very high, a couple of them. We've got somebody into the boards, gets off it okay. They settle down now, the early leader, Phil Herreen in car number 2. And a few charges, a bit of wild stuff very early. Anything a possibility thus far. The Americans settling down, respectively, back in positions 5 and 6 so far. But Phil Herreen, there's first through to 5. Dillon in 2nd place. Anybody's race still. We've got Gilbert up into 3rd. Car 24 behind that is Hennig. The 2 Americans next, respectively, Passerelli. Fox getting under him now, maybe. Followed behind is Bowey. And forget the rest for the moment. Herreen now about 20 car lengths separating 1st and 2nd. The Americans coming past us now on the screen, the 3 and 5 cars. Here comes the leader. On your screen now, car number 2 from South Australia. Put on a strong show so far through the heats. There is 21 laps remaining, 20 and a half in fact. They're coming around. Herreen's trying to settle himself down, settle the car down. He knows it's a long way to go and it's still anybody's. And we've got cars circulating on the terra firma and looking good. Challenge now, the American starting to put a bit of pace on. The 3 car of Passerelli going through the field. He's now up into 4th position. Young Hennig under fire from these Americans, veterans of the track. 6 years for Passerelli and 14 years for Stan Fox. But the question I put to him at the moment, with 18 circulations remaining, are they going to reel in the flying Phil Herreen? Starting to pick up pace in 2nd place is car number 18, Gary Dillon. And on your screen at the moment is Passerelli in car 3. We have somebody on the infield. I'm trying to pick up who it is. Smoke coming from a car there, but it could possibly be steam. I'm not sure. It looks like Don Bowey, unfortunately. We'll talk about that shortly as we see Passerelli now going down the back chute. He's after Mark Gilbert. There's a long, long gap between him and Gilbert at the moment, and a long, long gap in front of Gilbert is Dillon. In front of Dillon, a long, long gap to Herreen. So absolutely mammoth proportions required, but the American charging now down the back chute, and we'll see if he can pick up some time. The track drying out, the leader settling down, running the low line. About 15 car paces separates him from this man on the screen, car 18, Gary Dillon. 14 circulations, 14 laps remaining for this man. Car 2, the black car on your screen as he goes down the back chute into turn number 3. Phil Herreen settling down. Gary Dillon charging still after him, trying to reel him in a lap at a car length at a lap. We'll get that right. 13 remaining. This time 12 and a half down the back chute, circulating in very respectable time. The track absolutely superb, lending himself to speed car racing. Weather conditions in Adelaide here tonight, very, very humid weather. Absolute shirt sleeve stuff. There was a threat of rain earlier in the night and fortunately held off for this prestigious event. Still the leader, Dillon closing. Herreen getting caught in traffic. Herreen, fatigue would start to be looking down upon them as they go down to turn number 3. 10 laps this time around past the judge for the leader. Somebody spun up on the top turn. We have a spin. It looks like it's possibly Hennig by the car colour, but we must concentrate on the leader. There could be a challenge for it. Dillon trying very, very hard. Very committed racer, Gary Dillon, and he's done a marvellous job this evening so far. On your screen now, car 18, the man we speak of, now 8 car lengths separating 1st and 2nd. That's the gap on your screen, left to right. There's the leader going into turn 3. He's found the fast group. Perhaps just half a car length further up the track, maybe marginally faster, but So far, this particular line's doing a good job for the 2 car. Dillon there working away. Run 3rd place in the Nationals last year, and this year wants to be SA number 1. He's trying this. Hennig out, we believe, from a spin there. Our leader, Herreen, gets away there, makes the move, and in fact, he's making Dillon's job a little easy because the gap's opening up. John Sears moving up the circuit there for him. Good sportsmanship by these guys. Everybody else wanting to be a hero. Stan Fox now trying to make a charge. He's getting it together. Somebody blowing smoke. Mark Gilbert back there circulating in 3rd place. Behind him is Stan Fox. The leader past me now. If anything, with 4 to go, putting on the pace. Herreen would love to win this. The new rotary Mazda engine in this car. One of the sponsors of this vehicle, Tucker the Florist. As they come around past us now. Herreen now. Dillon trying to close. 3 to go. 2.5 down the back chute. This is going to be a dive for the wire. I've got to tell you, Stewart's watching intently, trying to give both these races every opportunity. Past us now. 2 to go. 2 circulations. Dillon clapping it on, standing on the loud pedal, trying to reel in Herreen. Here's the dive into 3. This is going to be a 1-lap dash. Down they come. Can Herreen hang on? Dillon's trying. Here comes Dillon. Herreen, low line. Dillon stands on it. Turn 3, he's for the action. It's going to be right down to the wire. Herreen so far. He's got the corner. He gets up high. Dillon, it's Herreen. Herreen gets it. Herreen. Car number 2, half a car length. Oh, the engine and tablets needed by the bottle here. Herreen first, Dillon second. I think, perhaps Stan Fox third. I'm not sure. We're standing back, but Phil Herreen's night is here. Alec Rowe will be absolutely ecstatic. Good luck, Alec, and congratulations. The old master has put one back in the winner's circle and another state title to his belt. The man that was renowned for putting Bill Wigsell into 4 wheels so many years ago and aiding and abetting that great career. And here tonight, his driver, Phil Herreen, has also done him proud. Well done, Phil Herreen. Well done, Gary Dillon. We're waiting for the final placings to come around as Herreen savours that lap, pulls the car up. There'll be a very proud Alec Rowe come out the gate. The reward of it all will be there. And Stan Fox through into 3rd place. 6:36.3 for the time. 6:36.3 for the race. And that is absolutely marvellous stuff. And our congratulations go to those 3 great competitors.
Thank you very much, boys. No, we have waited for many years. It's been a long time between drinks, but particularly tonight. Alex Rowe's been recommended for Order of the Queen, and it's on Monday, and I thought, well, what a top weekend if we could just come out and win a big one for him. And, you know, I went out and spent money on tyres this morning. Didn't tell him. I rang him up and said, oh, I found these tyres. Well, you better get them. So, you know, it's amazing with a little bit of gear. We put a new engine in.